Hello and welcome to episode 27 of The Board Crew. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm joined by...
Tony. Good evening, good morning. Hello, everyone. How you doing? How you going, Ben?
I'm going pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, going pretty good. Yeah, it's been a nice little time for board games recently.
It's nice that we're being nice to each other now. We're just getting ready for the warm-up.
Yeah.
This is a Showdown episode. We've both brought a game that we love that the other one is pretty meh on.
Indifferent, may hate.
Yeah.
But we'll see each other's thoughts on these things.
Yeah. But the cool thing is I'll be proven right in the end.
We'll see how we go. Ben, what are you reviewing today, though?
I'm going to be reviewing the wonderful masterpiece, Sidereal Confluence.
And I'll be reviewing Eclipse, New Dawn, Second Dawn for the Galaxy. They remastered it. They made it even better. And that's why
they had a lot to improve. Actually, I'm reviewing second edition of Sidereal as well. So,
ooh, that was the head of the older brothers.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how this goes.
All right, first up, because you always put your best foot forward.
Oh, my God.
Sidereal...
Anyone listening, at the end of this episode, just put in the comments which one you like the sound of more. Well, let's see who is right here, myself or Ben, eh?
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, we could probably look at the BGG ranking.
Yes.
I haven't even thought of that. No, let's not do that.
BGG's a large audience. We want to know what you guys think.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sidereal Confluence. This is a game of trading and negotiation in the Elysium Quadrant, which sounds meaningless.
It's space. Yeah, it's a space game.
This is a space game. It's kind of big, epic-y sort of space game. This plays from 3 to, should have looked at that, 8, 7? 4 to 9. Okay.
4 to 9.
This is a big epic space game that plays 4 to 9 players. And on the box it says it takes about 2 hours. I reckon you're looking at 2 to 3 hours usually for Sidereal Confluence. This is a game all about trading. So instead of lots of space games, which is about like, I'm going to take out my territory, I'm going to conquer people and sort of explore the galaxy. The theme I'll try that again.
No,
the theme of Sidereal Confluence is that all the races of the galaxy kind of realize they were maybe on the brink of war. So they all got together to have this confluence and decide what kind of galaxy they wanted to have. And so what they're going to do is try and develop technologies together and then share that for the prosperity of the galaxy. But each different race wants to kind of put forward their technologies the most so that they get to shape how the galaxy goes. That's kind of the theme. What it means is basically it's a game of trading where you're going to have stuff, cubes and weird little shapes of hexagons and translucent sort of cubes and little chips.
6 or 7 different currencies to be
there is tons of little bits and stuff that you get to trade, and you're going to trade them because the stuff that you make is basically useless to you and useful for other people. And the stuff that they make is going to be pretty useless to them, but useful for maybe you or another player. This really does, even though it says 4 on the box, I wouldn't play it with less than 6. You need lots of people for lots of trading, getting it going around. This is like a simultaneous game. So everyone trades in real time. You're all just kind of yelling at each other, going like, you got any white cubes? Give me a white cube. I'll give you a blue cube. So the other cool thing about Sidereal is you can trade anything. You can trade like your faction's special abilities. You can trade like the technologies that you've got. Some of the civilizations have special cool trading things that they can trade. Like if I give this to you, it gets double powered or something. You can trade your planets. You can trade your ships.
Nothing's off the table when it comes to trading in this game.
Yeah, and I really love it because it is just this pure game of negotiation, and it's a kind of good faith negotiation. Like if you played something like Catan, has anyone got a sheep for 2 wood or something? And everyone looks and they're going, oh, you're winning. I'm not giving you, like you're not getting the sheep. Because they don't really, they might get some wood, but they could have another way of getting the wood. Whereas in Sidereal, if I trade you a cube for a cube or like I give you some fleets or whatever, you're going to be able to do something with that if you're going to want to trade that. And the only way that you can get stuff is by trading.
Yeah.
Then you get to run them through, it's called your converters. It's basically like, I'll have a converter that says, if you've got 4 white cubes and 1 brown cube, you can put them in and it'll make a big brown hex. And everyone wants the hexes, so which would be great.
Because then you can trade that out for
yeah,
something
then you
else
could trade that hex for something else. And sometimes you're going to get a technology and it says, you need 16 green cubes to research this technology. So you'll be trying to either trade things that you can put in your converters to make those green cubes, or you'll be trying to trade directly for the green cubes. And it's almost always better to trade things that you can put in your converters to make the things that you want.
Just a pin in that there, Ben. Correct me if I'm wrong. On the cards and stuff, it does show generally what each item converts into money-wise. So when you're trading with others, you do have an idea of the value of stuff.
Yeah, so everyone gets kind of a little reference card that says this is about worth this, which is about worth this. So 2 of the small cubes is about worth 1 big cube, which is about worth... 3 of the small cubes is about worth 2 of the big cubes, which is about worth 1 of the hexagonal things, which is about worth, this many fleets or whatever, which is nice. And also your converters, when you run them, it says you are trading around about, say, 4 points into 7 points, or you're trading around about like 5 points into 9 points, or some of the really cool ones is you're trading about 0 points into 2 points. And you're like, yeah, I love this one.
3 points.
Yeah, because some of the converters you don't have to put anything into. They just make
activate,
stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is nice that it does kind of give you that bit of guardrail and sort of lets players know this is a fair deal. Sometimes you're going to make intentionally bad deals because you're going to be able to claw that back.
Yeah.
Especially as it kind of reaches the end of the trading phase where you're like, oh crap, I haven't got any of these green cubes. Like, I'll pay you
Everything
double.
must go.
Yeah.
I can't use any of my stuff. Someone obviously wants it.
Yeah. So I like that it's kind of mutually beneficial trading. Like it's kind of the theoretical good of like trading in the real world. I'll give you something that you want and you give me something that I want and we both win. Anyway, so everyone wins with the trades. And so it's really just a game about who can trade the best, who can kind of make those accomplishments. The other nice thing is when you research a technology, you're going to kind of get it on the turn that you research it. But at the end of that turn, you make an announcement to everyone else that you've got this technology, and then everyone gets that technology and whatever benefit that gives their civilization, suddenly they've all got it. We've one exception. There's a race that their special ability is they don't have to share the technology. You have to buy it off them. But that's cool because every race has some weird kooky thing. Like there's one that can have infinite planets. There's one that can almost have no planets, but they're double value. There's ones that
throw influence to the others. Like
ones that
when you're trading as well.
Yeah, there's one that like want to take credit when you design something. They're like, but I helped you, so you have to give me some points.
Yeah, can you just write my name on the bottom of that invention as well? Yeah, cool, thank you.
Co-authored.
Yeah, that's it, co-authored. Assistant director.
Which is really great. You've got 9 different races that all kind of give this different feel. There's this AI that produces wild resources that you can use as any kind of resource, which is pretty cool, but the AI can't put their wild resource into their converters. So they've got to like trade their wilds away for other people. Okay. So, like all different ones do different stuff. And I like that fact that not only do you have kind of different converters, but each race kind of has a different feel. The other thing that I do like for it is the player aids on it. On the back of it says, here's how you would win and here's how you'd lose if you're playing this race.
Yeah.
So it's got some tips and tricks. It's basically like, if you try and do this, because it might be your natural inclination, something, you're going to lose.
Try and go aggressive with your trading. It doesn't work because they don't make as much. You can't trade as much or whatever.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite ones in this is, this civilization is so powerful by rounds 7 to 9 that it's guaranteed to win. Unfortunately for you, the game is 6 rounds long. Which is,
just a bit of trolling in there from the designers.
Yeah.
Like we just play tested this at 8 rounds and it just They just kept winning, so we just cut the game to 6 rounds.
So it is interesting. Like they've got all different sort of stuff. The thing that I will concede to Tony of a hard part about Sidereal is because it's all simultaneous and everything happens at once. When you're doing the teach, everyone needs to understand every rule before you start. Mm-hmm. It's not actually that complex a game in terms of the converters and everything else. Like it's probably a mid-weight Euro sort of in terms of the actual complexity. But the problem is if I'm normally teaching a mid-weight Euro, I'm going to show you an example turn after I've explained the rules, and then you could ask me some questions about, well, what can I do here? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Etc. Because Sidereal's real-time trading, everything just starts happening at once.
You set a timer, don't you?
You do set a timer,
like a 10-minute timer.
10-minute timer.
If someone's halfway through and they haven't done anything, they're like, what am I supposed to do? And you're like, oh, crap, you've been left behind here.
Yeah. Honestly, when I play it, we almost never reach that 10-minute timer. The trading naturally finishes and we're like, do you mind if we stop the timer? So I think the timer's just there so you don't go for infinite. It's a good way to stop it. I love it. Tony, why do you love Sidereal Confluence?
I love Sidereal Confluence because I don't. No, it like mechanically and everything is a very nice game. I will give it that. The rules are fairly simple. You are spending a lot of time looking down, going, okay, I need to do this, need to do that, but which if you're not quick off the mark with it. So I think the first time I played this, I was probably the newest player to it, and that maybe tainted my view on it. And also the race I played as, you were trying to trade and also add this other bit into your trade as well, like we were saying before, where it's like, oh yeah, give me credit for what you've done. So it always just felt shoddy to try and add that into the trades, and like that whole like real-time aspect as well. I'm just not a big fan of that. I might be quite happy sitting here talking on a pod, but I guess I'm not quite as vocally open when it comes to something like this and pushing for that. I'm like, I just need this. Oh no one. Okay, I'll be quiet here in the corner then. And so the game sort of just passed me by because I wasn't as upfront with I need this, I need that, and I noticed the other players sort of picked up on that, and they picked up the slack and was like, oh, Tony, what do you need? And I'm like, I need this and that. So they sort of helped ferry me along, but I felt that was to the detriment of their game because then they were holding my hand sort of through it until I felt comfortable enough to really be open and aggressive with the negotiating, which I guess I'm just not a fan of negotiating games, and that might be the main thing of it all.
I will concede, if you don't like negotiation, this is not the game to go near.
No.
Just looking at the back of the contents here, it says 380 plus cards, 230 plus tokens and tiles, and 200 plus resource cubes. They are all on the table. Yeah. If you, assuming you're playing with all 9 players, all of those are on the table somewhere, and they're all getting like moved around in piles and stuff like.
And you're watching other people's deals as well. Like, oh yeah, cool. I'll make this deal with you. Okay, so 2 of your cubes for that. All right, sweet. I'll just turn to this person here, and you go back. Which is very real life. You turn back. Yeah. Oh, you still good for that deal? Oh no, you traded that off to someone. Okay, I can't do my deal with you now. Okay. And that's that's fine. And then the sharing of technologies. Like, okay, what technology did you have again? What's my one? I'm pretty sure it's all there on the board. It's been a while since I've played this, just because I've shied away from it.
When I've played it, we do like we kind of LARP the technologies.
Yeah.
The blah, blah, blah faction would like to announce to the universe that we have discovered biomedical technology and want to share it with everybody.
Push it into everyone's heads. So
and then everyone like searches through their deck to find biomedical technology and adds that.
Because it does sit in front of you, like other people's technologies. But I guess it's that balancing act of not looking down for too long, trying to figure out how to make all your engines or your converters run, that you miss out on the trading because, as you said, 5 minutes in, everyone's probably like, yeah, I'm done trading. I've got nothing else left to do. And you look up and go, okay, I know what I need. I don't want to trade. And everyone's like, no, I'm finished. Like, okay, sweet. And so a turn has just passed you by in the game. And like, if that's 20 minutes or half an hour, you've just let it slip by, it can feel a bit crappy. And that's how I felt with it.
Yeah. And look, like I said, there's only 6 turns. So missing one of those 6 is pretty crucial.
It's brutal. So, So that's the whole reason why I'm not a fan of it. But I guess the other side of the coin, that's probably the reason why you love it.
Yeah, I mean, you might have picked up, those that have met me might disagree, but sometimes I'm a bit loud and forthright. so
Ben is
I
a
love
big
getting
voice
into
at the table.
Yeah, I love getting into the fray of this. I especially love this is to me a fantastic con game because you do need at least 6 players and it plays amazingly with sort of 8, maybe even 9 if everyone's played before. So that is Sidereal Confluence.
So the game I'm reviewing, Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy, is the first one I played. I currently have New Dawn for the Galaxy, which was their first one as well. This is a 4X game, which means to explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate, which is just a fancy way of saying go search for things and fight each other, or not fight each other and just gain resources in the corner, and that's fine.
For a good 4X game, the 4 things should be distinctive.
Yes.
In the sense that you should have something that you're exploring, some way that you're expanding, getting bigger, some way that you're exploiting
what you're finding.
and like developing your resources or engine, and then should be fighting
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do really love this game because it does, for me, this is almost like a bit of a storyteller. And I guess that looking at my board game collection recently, I have quite a few campaign games. It seems I like a good story to be played out. But you all start off...
Or at least a good story to sit on your shelf to maybe play.
Yeah. A couple of these are going to do solo just because it's like, well, bugger it, I want to play the game. Back to this one. Yeah, you all start off in space. You're all separate factions. You'll have your own little abilities that you can do, or you can all be humans and you're all the same. It doesn't really matter which faction you choose. They're all just a bit more flavor text to each other, slight differences to each. But you all start off in a separate part of the galaxy, and then you start going through warp holes on these hexagonal discs that you have to explore other parts of the galaxy. And you can all explore towards the center or wandering out away from the center. Now, the sections away from the center don't have as many resources, but you could get lucky, or the closer you get to the center, you find more planets, which gives you more resources, which is that exploiting and expanding at the same time and exploring naturally. And then...
But going towards the center, Brenly brings up that 4X as well.
Yes, it does. And it's, in the center of the map, which is typically where everyone ends up getting to, there is a ship, which is the AI of the game, that looks like the Death Star from episode... what would it be? 6 now, technically. I was going to say episode 3, Star Wars. Anyway, where it's already been kind of raggedly destroyed. But it is so fun, and I always end the game trying to take this damn thing out. That's how I always end my games. And it's this whole story of getting there, or maybe... you had a neighbor who attacked you early on, so that becomes your nemesis in this game. And I just enjoy the exploring across the tiles, building up your technologies, and then you build up your ships on your board. You load them with different weaponry. So you could have a ship which is a glass cannon. All of a sudden, it's got all the most amazing weaponry, but you get hit twice and you're dead. And it's like, or you could have just a battering ram that goes in there, and you might only be rolling one gun, but it can take all the damage in the world, and that's fine. And yeah, it's just this whole traveling around, building out. You can choose to be aggressive to other people or not, but you have to kind of skirt and avoid each other. Because I think it's when you go into a sector with each other, you are naturally going to fight anyway.
Yeah.
So
the game doesn't really
skirmishes.
encourage turtling.
No. It wants you to it shrinks you down and chokes the area to make it that you have to fight eventually. As I said, can either be little skirmishes, or you can have all-out war against each other, and then have that third person come in after you've had your little battle and go, hey, I'm just going to clean you up a little bit for a moment here. Bit like in...
Oh, look at these wounded ships limping along.
Bit like we were saying in the other episode with Zaya, where it's like someone attacks the bounty and doesn't quite get it, and they just come in and take them out at the end there. I really enjoy this game. It was probably one of the first 4X games I got introduced to. And Second Dawn of the Galaxy as well, the setup is so quick. They made it so the player boards, you just get your board and you get given a tray which has all your resources and the trackers. They've really focused on making that as efficient and as quick as possible, because Ben and Jenny went to a con, got me the first version, And I was like, awesome. It's Eclipse. And it's like, oh, New Dawn for the Galaxy. Okay, it was the first one. That's cool. I'll get that. And I opened the box. Oh my God, there are components everywhere. And now I'm looking at 3D printed models of like, who did what to make this as easy as possible? And that's probably the one downfall I got to say with this. Ben, your thoughts on all this one?
I reckon this is 4X Euro. Because it's a very Euro style of 4X.
With where you're putting your resources on planets and the like, for sure.
Yeah. So there is that sort of more deliberate kind of resourcey management part that other 4Xs maybe lean a little bit more into the kind of chaosy story bit. Now, like if you're comparing with, say, Twilight Imperium or something
everyone
like that.
always compares it to Twilight Imperium every time.
Well, I mean,
but it's probably one of the closest ones to compare it to. Like,
and let's face it, Twilight Imperium has it's pretty much the undisputed king in the 4X. I'm not saying it's the best game, but
I'm yet to play it. I do want to play Twilight Imperium. Like it's, as you said, it's the.
I mean, the downside for Twilight Imperium is you're looking at 3 to 4 times longer than a game of Eclipse.
Yeah,
so,
that's a day. You're allocating a full day.
Yeah, it's a day, but it sells itself as a space opera, a space epic. So you want that, you're going to have to give that amount of time.
Yeah.
For me, Eclipse, I guess. I enjoy every 4X that I've played, I think. Eclipse would be down the bottom of the 4Xs.
Fair enough.
That I've played. The technology's irked me. I can't say why. I felt really unfulfilled by the tech tree, and usually the tech tree is one of the things that I really love. Maybe it's the fact that the technologies kind of come out a bit randomly about which ones you can research.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and you're kind of like, man, this is no shields again.
No shields yet. We have proton torpedoes. What's going on?
Yeah. I guess that, like, maybe thematically it makes sense. You know, your scientists don't go, oh, well, we're going to come up with this new idea. But yeah, the technology's kind of irked me. And I think I like a 4X game to have a little bit more reason to cooperate and potentially have some like diplomatic alliances that actually mean something other than I'm just not going to attack you. And as you kind of pointed out, in Eclipse, you can kind of avoid each other, but you can't really form any kind of alliance, and you definitely can't really backstab any kind of alliance because it's just like, I said I wasn't moving there. No, I'm moving there now.
Sorry, I have to move here now.
Whoops.
Yeah, the player interaction in that sense, there's not. It's only warfare interaction.
Yeah. I really love the smattering of political that often gets added to those 4Xs. I realize that's not an X, like.
But it's
lexical.
But just because, 4X and a P.
4X and a P. But X.
Yeah. The 4PX. No, 4XP. Sure, yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I enjoy that element, and Eclipse is missing that. So I guess for that reason, it felt just a little flat. Like I said, I'd sit down and happily play it if that's what was at a table. But every time that I play Eclipse, I'm always like, why aren't I playing like Twilight Imperium? That was probably the time.
Because of the 12 hours. Yeah, that's why.
But like Exodus, I like Exodus more than Eclipse. So they both came out about the same time. Exodus also in its first edition had a million little tiny annoying bits that you had to, but it was worse than Eclipse because their bits were like little tiny cylinders. So if you accidentally knocked them over, they like rolled across the table. You're just like, no.
Not even a cube to keep on there.
Yeah. They were like, we don't want cubes, we want cylinders. And you just watch them go, Anyway, look, so like it's fine.
Yeah, no, I get hearing what you're saying, critiquing wise there. I get what you're saying. It is probably, I was going to say more kiddie, like maybe more watered down version of a 4X. It's like a lighter 4X is the only way maybe you could say it.
Yeah,
it's
like
it's doing
Eclipse,
all the
it's got all the 4Xs.
Yeah,
like I've played 4Xs that don't. Like, and you're like, this isn't a 4X. Like, we're missing one of the X's here.
Well, okay, maybe shallow might be the word I'm looking for here. Like, it's a 4X game. Like, I'm just trying to see your point of view on this one.
It's condensed. You know, there's some, like, 4Xs always take time. That's
that's the nature,
you know,
to explore and to expand. Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we've
If you're going to
all
have
done it.
epic space, you've got to have some level of, you know, like I like tiny epic space galaxies, but it's not epic space. Like it's tiny and it's good, but it's not epic.
Yeah. And it's small to push for conflict to happen to create the stories.
Yeah. You know, and Eclipse is a 4X, but you lose what you gain in time, you lose in epicness. And if I'm going to go for a 4X, I go for epicness. Like that's what I'm here for.
But I do like that this one you can play on an evening and you're not shattered the next day.
Yeah. Maybe like 2 to 3 hours for a game.
3 hours, you know, it's
on the long side, maybe.
Yeah.
Depending on how many players.
It says it's a 2 to 6 player game. I've generally played it about 4. I think I played it at 5 once and it did drag a little.
Yeah.
Just like waiting for your turn to come round, and like especially if you're going with the first edition versus the second edition, they removed a round for the second edition, I think, to speed up the game a little.
And look, more players doesn't add that much because they're on the other side of the galaxy and you might meet in the middle, but you're definitely not going to fight over the edges with those people because there's not that kind of political alliance where the fact that, you know, Bob's taking his turn across the table, I've just got to sit there while that happens because I don't really care. Like I might whoop if he like goes fights Deke's ships just because it's funny to watch Deke burn. But other than that, you know, nothing.
Yeah. The downtime in between, there isn't much you're doing. I mean, you can look at the technologies and the like and go, okay, cool. Well, that's what's available. Oh, what does that do? And so I like that, I guess, against Sidereal Confluence there, like where you're kind of looking at all that during the time of everything happening. That downtime in between gives you the moment to go, oh, that does that. Okay, cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
And so that's why I guess with 4 players, that's good because it gives you enough time to look over that and then it's back round to you again. So you're not bored.
Yeah,
and you can like again, watch someone fighting.
It's that solid Euro sort of thing of like, here's a game that will tell you, give you a reasonable amount of planning and strategy that you can make because it's like the information is before you. Yeah. You can make choices now based on what you can see. And there are some deliberate choices you'll need to make in Eclipse. Like you need to actually plan some of the things that you're doing to achieve your aims. It's not kind of like, I'm just going to chuck some dice and see what happens.
No, dice rolling generally only happens with the battles.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you want to explore, you're like, I need more resources. I need to get to the center. Then your upkeep goes up and such, so you need to get more money in, which like a Euro-y sort of thing there. I really like it. Ben's indifferent to it. I really like it. But then again, I'm indifferent to Sidereal. Ben really likes it. That's the beauty of having opinions. Both of our opinions are right, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'd say at least one of us is right.
Okay, I was trying to go down the diplomatic route, which is not the way I play games. So fine.
And not in Eclipse, but in Sidereal. So a win for Sidereal.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm just going to blow your ships out of the water. And that's Eclipse. All right, Ben, we normally do at the end of the episode where we say which game we prefer to play. It's obvious which one we prefer to play.
We both want to play Sidereal.
No. So instead, tell me something you like about Eclipse and I'll tell you something I like about Sidereal.
I would say that Eclipse does the best job at getting all 4Xs in a short amount of time that I've played. Like I played Arcs back at PlayCon, which is supposed to be like 4X. It didn't feel like a 4X. It was shorter and it was confusing and like Deke hated it. And Dave hated it and Bob's kind of like, whatever.
I'm sure we'll review that some other time.
I don't think we will. I think we're ever getting to play a full game of that. Eclipse is the only one that I have heard that there's another one that I haven't played yet. Can't remember the name. But Eclipse does take the prize for being a true 4X in a shorter amount of time. It nails that.
Okay.
Sidereal Confluence. Do you want to tell us all the good things about it?
Well, the thing I like about Sidereal Confluence would be the possibilities of all the technologies and everything you do have available. I do like the camaraderie of trying to repair a galaxy together. That is a lovely sort of thing, which I mean, I did say about storytelling with Eclipse. This does lend itself to storytelling just through trade instead. That is a really nice thing to kind of look at the end of everything, go, yeah, we did it. We saved everything. Well done, guys.
The universe goes into prosperity.
That's it, yeah.
So instead of prosperity for that one guy who killed everybody else.
Yeah, in Eclipse, you would have that one guy. So that is something that I do enjoy about that, is the camaraderie of Sidereal Confluence.
Well, with that message of hope, thanks for getting bored with us. And we look forward to getting bored with you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been The Board Crew. Hey, thanks for listening. You can join the conversation by rolling the dice or just rolling over to our socials. Just search The Board Crew on Facebook.
The Board Crew ASMR edition.
I'm going to roll my dice now. Can you hit me with these?